Hi there, this is Annika, and this is my first face shield with a cloth attachment vlog. So this idea kind of started at the beginning of the summer when one of my robotics coaches had asked if anyone was interested in creating protective gear for teachers, especially teachers of students that are hearing impaired, because for people that are deaf or hard of hearing, it's really important to see the mouth, to read lips, or facial expressions. I volunteered myself to do that, though it was not maybe the best of timing since I was in the middle of moving. But needless to say, I did it. So then we started creating some designs, and we finally landed on this. I'm gonna make a video later about more of the whole design process of that. And so this is what it looked like. We started the construction phase towards the end of the summer, and we ran into some problems, or at least I did. The main thing was that we were not producing the cloth attachments fast enough for the demand. And this was due to because it takes a while to sew a face shield, but what we were doing was instead of sewing one at a time, we were sewing one section, and then we'd go and do the next section and then the next section. So it was a big time commitment for volunteers, especially once the school year started and they had other jobs and stuff to do. And then the thing that happened for me was that I was pretty much the only one that was organizing all this sewing, and I still had schoolwork to do. So I was slightly very stressed out about that. Then we took a survey of the teachers that we had given the face shield cloth to, and some of our results that we found were that number one, it was getting too foggy. Number two, it was kind of heavy. And number three, they were not wearing it as much for very long or that often. And number four, it wasn't sealing all the way, always the best in the back. So I decided that for my project, I wanted to redesign it. So let me tell you about my design process. So the first thing I did was create a content map of my different ideas. I had two main subheadings. The first was the cloth attachments, where I was focusing on durability, enclosing it, and making it faster to build or sew. And then the second part was baseball caps instead of visors, and I had different criteria for that. The thing I started to do was, of course, list off some of the problems that we were having and slowly go and try to fix those. So my first thing, I kind of looked into researching baseball cap shields that were already existed. Some of them I wasn't as much of a fan of, like this one. It's a cool idea, except baseball cap brims like change shapes, so you can get air gaps. Another one where it's kind of this one is where you put something on the plastic and it snaps onto the rim. This lady, I watched a YouTube video right there. She glued the binder clip onto the shield right there, and then the clip, she could snap that onto the rim of the hat. All right. I'm kind of still looking into different ways to cool it down, because with the cloth around it in the shield, it gets really hot. And then for fogging up, I did some research about. I don't have the research here. There's some previous research about different methods that have been used in history for like medical students, so that their glasses don't fog up when they wear medical masks. Now I really need to experiment with what I have and like try it on. See what the problems are when I wear it. I sketched out what the cloth attachment looks like currently, with where the folds are and the Velcro pieces, and then how that attaches to the visor. The next thing I did was try to figure out different ways to attach the cloth to the shield. One idea was using Velcro, like I have been using. The next idea was buttons or snaps, but this would be better for an individual person doing it. It's not as good for mass production. The other thing I looked at was a clip-on where the edges of the shield are curl in, so that you can put like a rod into the fabric and then snap that into the curve on the shield, and then when you need to take it out, you can snap that off, and then when you wash the cloth, you can just take the rod out and wash it.